SaySo Radio.
What you say, who the hottest?
SaySo Radio. SaySo Radio.
What you say, who the hottest on the airwaves? SaySo Radio, shutting down the headset. Who provided the hottest topics on the streets? Got the market talking about it from the DM to the V. Pass the matrix round the table like a hot potato. Step to the mic and don't let it go. Wait till you say so. And give the credit where it's due. WLVS, ha, nothing but the truth.
SaySo Radio. SaySo Radio. With Andre. SaySo Radio. SaySo Radio.
What you say, who the hottest on the airwaves? SaySo Radio, shutting down the headset. Who provided the hottest topics on the streets? Got the market talking about it from the DM to the V. Pass the matrix round the table like a hot potato. Step to the mic and don't let it go. Wait till you say so. And give the credit where it's due. WLVS, ha, nothing but the truth.
SaySo Radio. SaySo Radio. With Andre.
Welcome everyone to SaySo Radio with Andre Harris and friends. I am your host, Andre Harris, and I'm waiting on my friends, okay? But right now we have a really good show coming up today, because today is the focus is called staying focused and being faithful to my dreams. And I know a lot of us have dreams, and a lot of us have callings, a lot of us have things that we want to pursue, and sometimes we can get deterred and get off course. And the second part of our show is going to be the Dedicated Father series, and I want to make sure that we all know that tomorrow is Father's Day. Hello, everybody. Y'all like these glasses? Thank you, Ebony. Hey, y'all know I always run everything by you all. And so, y'all, did I get my other earring? I'm missing an earring. Nobody even told me I was missing an earring. So I think I have the other earring in my purse. But if I don't, we just going to keep it rolling. Is that all right? So, I want to say hello to all of my live friends. Evangelist Linda Cooper is in the house. Scott, hi, Ebony, hi, Alfie. Skyra, hey, Skyra in the house. Everybody, hello. Jeremy in the house. And we want to thank Jeremy last week for sitting in with us. We had a wonderful time. I've gotten so many inboxes on that segment on last week. You know, sometimes when you just let it happen, it just happens. And it's wonderful. We got some giveaways today, so be expecting to call in. Our call-in number is 301-442-1716. That's our call-in number, 301-442-1716. I want to thank Arthur Winter Giovanni for being in the house from Infinity Publications, hanging out with me today. She's my accountability partner. She had to actually come to Washington, D.C., and I guess I must confess, I have a project that's not done, and she had to actually come and babysit me to make sure that I complete our project while I'm so busy doing everybody else's, right? So she's here as my accountability partner for this weekend, and actually prepare me for my travel to Miami next week. So we will be streaming live from Miami next week once I learn how to do all of this. But in the meantime, in between time, don't touch that dial. I want to hear from you all today. Anybody that's near a phone, you could call in and talk to me, 301 442-1716. And let's talk about being faithful to your dreams and holding on to your dreams. Anybody want to call in? By all means, come on and call me and talk to me this morning. Last week we had dead air. I thank goodness for Jeremy. Jeremy came out here and saved the day. All of my viewers from all over the country, all over the world, you guys know that this is the radio that impacts the lives of people one listener at a time, while making sure that the world knows what we're doing, who we're doing it with, and how we're doing it. So I thank you all for joining us. Anthony Pixley. Hi, Anthony. How are you? You know what? I was just thinking about Andre the other day when I was listening to all those old slow jams that your brother, God rest his soul, used to sing all the time. He used to sing all the time. A lot of old school, break up to make up. Y'all know all that old school stuff. But so I was just thinking about Andre the other day when I heard those songs. But anyway, our call-in number is 301-442-1716. Hi, Willie. Hi, everybody. 301-442-1716. I want to talk to you about living your dreams. Anybody that have a dream and stay faithful and stay truthful to your dreams. A lot of times we can get caught up and we can get sidetracked. And that is being distracted by distractions. How many of us know that we cannot really afford to do that? But it happens. So I want to hear from you guys about not being distracted while you're on your dreams, while you're on your grind, because it's a grind time right now. Anybody ready to grind? Anybody familiar with grind time? 301-442-1716. All right? Call me up. In the meantime, since Winter is here visiting us all the way from down the road in another area code, I'm going to have her come on up and just sit with me for, somebody want to call. Let's see. Let's see. Y'all know I don't know how to work these phones. SaySo Radio, you're on the air with Andre.
Hi, Andre. It's Scott.
Hey, Scott, how are you?
Morning.
Good morning. We're talking about staying faithful to your dreams. You have anything that you want to share about that?
Just keep prayers and keep faith in yourself.
Keep prayers and keep faith in yourself. Thank you so much. Everybody, keep prayers and keep faith in yourself. Staying faithful to your dreams. Hi, Deacon Bobby. How are you? Thank you so much for calling us. Thank you, Scott. Callers, that was Scott. Scott, where are you calling from?
Powder Springs.
Irish Springs?
Yep.
Tell me where that's at. Is that around the corner from me?
Where are you at?
D.C.
No, it's Georgia.
Thank you, Scott, from Georgia. Thank you so much for calling, Scott. We love you over here at SaySo Radio. We're going to pause for a second. Anybody else want to call in? By all means, call in. But my guests are here. The folk you've been waiting for. Run that reel right quick. That promo one more time while I get ready for my guests.
SaySo Radio, SaySo Radio.
What you say, who the hottest on the airwaves? SaySo Radio, shutting down the hearsay. Who provided the hottest topics on the streets? Got the market talking about it from the DM to the V. Pass the matrix round the table like a hot potato. Step to the mic and don't let it go until you say so. You give the credit where it's due. WLVS, nothing but the truth.
SaySo Radio, SaySo Radio, with Andre. SaySo Radio, SaySo Radio.
What you say, who the hottest on the airwaves? SaySo Radio, shutting down the hearsay. Who provided the hottest topics on the streets? Got the market talking about it from the DM to the V. Pass the matrix round the table like a hot potato. Step to the mic and don't let it go until you say so. You give the credit where it's due. WLVS, nothing but the truth.
SaySo Radio, SaySo so. Say so. Radio, I say. With Andre.
Okay, y'all, we are back to SaySo Radio with Andre Harris and friends. I am your host, Andre Harris, and I'm here with two of my phenomenal friends. Introduce yourself, fellas.
How you doing? This is Theron Shields, the real estate matchmaker.
And y'all already know, Uji Leo, you know what I mean?
And the return. Y'all see the flies say the return of Uji Leo.
Yes,
all right.
yes.
We had an opportunity to get a snippet of him last week, but he's back today, and we're here on two segments today, and Trey Chaney will be calling in today. But the first part of our segment for the next 20 minutes, we're going to be talking about staying faithful to our dreams. These guys have some hell of a stories. Again, next week we will be showcasing. We're going to be streaming live from Miami.
Yes.
Next Saturday we're streaming live. So let me just let you guys know right now. He just woke up. He sleep and woke. Okay? So if we're going to be streaming live from Miami, I will be the designated driver and host, okay? It's his birthday, and that's enough said. All right? So it's turn up time.
Get it.
But I will be streaming live from Miami, and we're going to have a great time. So please, you'll still be able to call in. We'll be Skyping into the show to celebrate the birthday and all of his friends and all the celebrations. When I tell you this, you have to be able to learn how to celebrate people.
Yes.
If you know where they came from, then you can celebrate where they are and where they're going. Yeah. So that's why I'm able to celebrate them, because I had an opportunity to hear both of their stories. And we're going to be talking about our second segment is the dedicated father. We're going to be talking to Torrance about the relationship with his dad. We're going to be talking to Theron about fatherhood in their lives. So it's a lot we got going on, and the dedicated father movement that Trey Chaney has started, and he's partnered with the Just For Us Foundation to start a dedicated fathers movement mentorship program. Right. And it's geared to make a lot of young men who are fathers at an early age. We're going to partner them up with men who are doing things to show them how to be men. All right? So I'm not going to hold y'all up and wrap you up like Christmas gifts, because we got our guest here that we've been waiting on. So those of you that are online, Winter, if you do me a favor and go ahead and start posting them up. And we're going to get started. So my first guest is Theron Shields, the real estate matchmaker. And I'm just going to give the whole opportunity for you to talk to us candidly about where you've been and how you became the #1 real estate matchmaker. I'm not going to tell the story, because if I tell it, they may not believe me. So I wanted to come from you. Right. Tell us your story.
Well, I mean, I started out in real estate just like everybody else. You know, I ended up looking, trying to search for a different route for my life. I was getting tired of actually doing the same thing over and over again. But I started out, I didn't have that much. So my life ended up going into the military. I spent 8 years in the military, actually became a sniper. And something happened in the military that actually knocked me off my pivot. I ended up going to jail, ended up doing all types of crazy stuff. And I thought my life was over, But during that process, when I went to prison, I ended up picking up this book, and the book changed my life. It was a Robert Kiyosaki book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And I actually started reading and understanding what he was truly, in fact, talking about. Like some people read a book and just don't take anything from the book that they read. They might read it and regurgitate the information to you, but actually taking a message out of a book and putting it into action and moving, that's what I did. I got kicked out of the military, thought my life was over, single father, raising a daughter by myself, but it was my drive and motivation, to really change my life, to be able to give me something different. So my life is a little funny. I actually, I got out of once I got out of the military, I ended up trying to do the single father thing. I ended up saving up a little bit of money and went and tried to do real estate and be a single father. And everybody knows that that's almost impossible to do, and just throughout the whole ordeals, stayed up all night, just trying to educate myself, give myself all the information. And, just getting kicked out of the military, not having nothing. They told me I wouldn't have a McDonald's job. I just took that desire, motivation to change my life. And, I'm sitting there looking at that little girl and I'm like, you know what? Are they right? Is this really reality? Are you really going to only amount to having nothing? And my thought process, that scared me, to look in her face and see this, this precious little girl, and the thought of me not being able to give her the life or myself the life, that we watched on TV. I said, you know what, why continue to do this? So I went out there and started doing it, started just making action. And, during the course of me starting, it was really hard, me being, I'm not going to use it as a crutch, but me being the skin complexion that I am, and also, me being a male, people mostly, they see me, they like, he look like he a Taliban, he look like from Middle East, like, I mean. So you're a man. Right. I mean, like, just having those situations in my life, and I was young during this time frame. I went out there, started doing it with, like, great tenacity, just pure drive, and through God and everything else, and me putting myself out there and putting myself in motion, I ended up making $1 million in like 12 months in my career, first starting out at the age of 23. Now, that's just me getting kicked out, made $1 million, like, hey, here you go, I lost it.
Wow. Wow.
I lost it.
Now let's get a piece. You lost the $1 million or lost your mind?
I lost both.
Okay. Now that right there, that little tidbit right there, you made $1 million in one year. And give us a piece of wise information on how to hold on to the next million.
I mean, information is to basically, watch out for yourself. Make sure that you do number one and protect yourself more than you would protect anything else. And especially when you start in a business, your business is number one. Just a smidget of a fraction of a mistake can be detrimental to your organization. And that's what happened. I got a little bit too big too soon. The situation grew overnight like wildfire. It was happening all automated. And then, I just started seeing situations happening to where I was getting robbed in-house. People started stealing money from me, all types of crazy stuff. And then I was slapped with a debt. I owned multiple properties in my name during this time frame, and I had to give them all right back. And, I mean, at that point in time in my life, having almost 110, 120 properties actually in my corporation, and then having to give them all back, deed in lieu of foreclosure, or else I would have owed these guys X amount of dollars.
Wow.
Like, that was a tough pill to swallow, and having that situation happen to me, it allowed me to go back and recalculate what was going on in my life and focus and figure out, who was around me.
Wow.
Because really, like, if I was able to go from the lowest of the lowest to the highest of the highest in that short period of time, and also have it stripped away from you like that, just because of somebody's, selfish actions, that's beyond me. But see, one thing that I do know is that as long as you know how to go out there and create something, you know how to go out there and what you want to do, if you know that you want to get to California, how the hell you get to California is it's not even really that big of a deal, As long as you know your destination, you can get there. I hop out of this room right now and I'll say, hey, I need to go to Cali. Somebody gonna be like, hey, hop in the taxi, go right here, jump on the airport, do this, and you're gonna get to California. But most people don't know where they want to go at the end of the day. But when you see the clear vision and you see your life painted out, it's Trey. If you see the life painted out, in the biggest,
hey, Trey.
Right?
Yo, what's up?
Hey, everybody, that's Trey Chaney on the line. We're interviewing with Theron Shields right now, telling us about his story. Come on, finish up.
Right. But when you see life, right? When you see life in a
simple,
stupid.
That's real stupid. See, they simple, y'all. Go ahead.
But when you see your life in the full, and you can actually paint your vision. I see my life at the end of the tunnel when I was broke, when I was piss poor broke. I mean, I had nothing, but in my head, I could see this big, huge house, these nice cars, nice everything. My daughter having the world. And, just that vision in my head being painted so clearly. How can you stop an individual from achieving what they want to achieve when they have a blueprint so clear, Like, and I think I might not be unique, but I consider myself unique, like I actually taught myself how to ride a motorcycle in my dream, I never drove a motorcycle a day in my life. And I had a dream that I wanted a motorcycle, I went out there, I dreamt it. I didn't have the money ready, but I had friends around me. And I went to my friend and I said, hey, that I can, I have my motorcycle license. I didn't already took the course and this and this and this, but I really want a motorcycle. And she said, okay. So we go up to the dealership. We get the motorcycle. I never got on a motorcycle, but me during this time frame, 22, in the military, and I'm just wanting to do everything. So I go out there and I get the biggest bike. I got a Hayabusa. It's one of the biggest production motorcycles out, right? So I get on this thing. Never did it before in my life. I was scared shitless. But I turned it on. I revved it up. I let go of this clutch just the same way that it was in my head in that
same
dream.
way you dreamed it.
I swear. As soon as I did it so slowly, and I pulled off for that lot like I've been riding motorcycles for years. Nobody ever actually understood this. And, I drove it to the house, got it there safely, never dropped it, everything. This bike was probably 10 of me put together in the sense of weight. Me sitting over here riding this thing all the way home, and I finally got it, and I say, dang, boy, you did this, and you never did it before. You never rode a motorcycle a day in your life, but through this dream, man, it being that powerful, you was able to take that dream and turn it into reality.
Wow.
And, once you understand that, and once you understand how powerful dreams are, and how you actually achieve your dreams, and that's just pure action, I was always told that a broken clock was correct twice a day.
Wow.
If you understand that, you can accidentally make $1 million in just doing stuff.
That's right.
But the situation is that most people don't do stuff. They just talk about stuff. Mm-hmm. And like me, I was always a doer. So therefore, I went back out, ended up losing $1 million, ended up going right back out and achieving. And I moved and relocated myself on the East Coast, a place that I've never been to in my life. And God ended up putting me in contact with this individual and this individual on the phone right here. And it's been the best thing smoking since sliced bread. And only due to the understanding of how powerful teamwork can be.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Speaking of teamwork, though, let's talk about this teamwork. Now, you do teach others how to acquire wealth.
I do.
You too, and so with that, Uji Leo, not only is he a singer and I think he's going into acting. I seen your video, so I already know you tap into some other things. But you are also a part of the team of real estate.
Yes.
So how did that happen for you? Because I knew not even in 1 month or 2 months, you came off pretty decent.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, and I was like, well, wait a minute, hold up. You know how they say, we finally got a piece of the pie.
Hey.
So I called there and I was like, okay, look, we got to meet immediately. Because I was hearing numbers that I've never heard before. And,
right.
Or you hear things that you've dreamed of. Mm-hmm. And so for me, I found out, you said that to surround yourself with doers.
Yes.
And for my life, it was always surrounded. Hey, Daryl, how you doing? It was always surrounded by people that were talkers.
Right.
And you only had 1 or 2 doers.
Right.
So it wasn't nothing getting accomplished because nothing comes to a dreamer but a dream.
Exactly.
Right? So I had to change my location. So tell me what happened with you as you became a student.
Well, in my version of the story, I knew I wanted to do real estate, but I didn't know how to go about it.
Cuz Daryl Massey and Shakira.
And then, I was out here on the grind with
talking to some
Trey Chaney
millionaires.
doing movies. We did the first movie was Lorenzo and Monica. This is the story how I met Thurn. We was on the set of Lorenzo and Monica, and your cousin Barry is in the movie with us. And I told him that I was in the real estate because a high school buddy of mine named Cameron Jones put me on to the initiation part of real estate, or going through short sales dealing with real estate agents. So I kind of started my way with that, and then out of the blue, I get a phone call from this guy right here. introducing
Rod.
himself as, hey man, I'm Barry's cousin, I'm Thurn, I do real estate, let's get together. So I introduced him to my partner Cam. So they started that situation, and then I wanted to change my mode of the game. I didn't want to do short sales. I wanted to learn the mode that he was doing, because he was talking numbers that I ain't never heard. And a lot of times, too, back and forth with me and Trey Chaney was, downtown selling the books, the products, and everything. We used to bring up ways of how we gonna create extra income too. And I always used to say real estate, real estate, real estate. So Thurn was like, look, you need to do it this way. You need to change your whole game up. You need to change your whole mentality. You're doing a lot of things wrong. Because he's the type that he's going to correct the information you're getting, because it frustrates him when you do things wrong. I picked that up from, because
Yeah, right.
yeah, so I started taking the information, closed on my first deal. He gave me, 10 bands on my birthday.
Wow.
You know what
That's
I mean?
something.
So now it's to the point where Trey is doing his thing in Atlanta, getting deals together, like, you know what I mean? So we keeping everything in-house, keeping everything within the team.
Within the team.
Growing each other exactly off of information that he's providing now that he wants to do, and create a platform for, the public as well.
Now I remember when we had our meeting, it was crazy, because it was like, so I was like, so what we supposed to do? He said, well, either you want to be the boss or you want to do this. Like, it was like real short. I was like, well, I ain't trying to do what you do, because I don't know what you're doing. He said, okay, then this is how you're going to follow it. And see, a lot of times when you can't humble yourself, humility plays a big part. I don't give a flying kahuna how high you are. If you cannot stay humble, especially when you're learning something new, you're going to be humiliated. Bottom line.
You're
So
gonna be
I
humbled real quick.
okay. So I was able to meet somebody the other night. So Marcus asked me, said, so what's the end game?
Right.
That was you was busy handling y'all. Let me tell you something. They got business at restaurants, okay? We're there. I'm eating. Tarn's sick. They're making businesses. Their client is at the restaurant. I'm like, wait a minute. Where they do this at? So I'm like, okay, I'm eating. She was like, well, the letters is this. Well, Torrance going to give you the letter. I was like, these Negroes are conducting business, okay? But this is what they do. But as they were talking, your partner said, well, what's the end game?
Right.
I said the end game is everybody's eating, everybody's okay, and everybody is working as a team. He said, great. I like the energy. Because what I notice is that nobody, when it comes to real people doing real things, nobody's just going to click just because we like you.
Right.
You have to be an asset. If you're not an asset, you're going to be a liability.
Yeah.
Okay? Right. So we got Trey on the phone. Trey. Hey. Good morning.
What's going on, y'all? Y'all can hear me?
We can hear you real well. Everybody else can hear you. Hi, Angie. Hi, everybody online. So we want to talk to you. We're talking about this staying focused to our dreams, staying faithful and focused while we're living our dreams. What do you have to add to this segment?
Basically the same thing that Thurn and Uji was talking about, man. I mean, a lot of people know my story. I've been in the game since I was 8 years old. Started off as a hip hop dancer.
Yes, sir.
Booby remember some of those years of me being in the entertainment business, man. Booby used to help me with some of my routines.
Uji.
Facts.
Yeah, I just always had a passion for, whether it was rapping, whether it was dancing, and then eventually turned into acting. But one thing I can say is just never give up. You know what I'm saying? You always got to continue to strive, man. Continue to, keep God first and surround yourself around good people. That's like with me turning the business now into this whole real estate thing. I got Thurn and Uji actually, training me on how to lock down deals out here in Atlanta. I mean, that's something that I always wanted to do. So I got the perfect team behind me. And then, of course, Andre, with you, we doing a lot of good business, man, just on, really making an impact in the acting, playwriting world and the community. And trying to help black fathers out and, just fathers in general. So, yeah, my thing is just never give up. Never give up. I'm actually out here now in Atlanta on set of a new film called No Remorse. I'm playing a detective. So y'all hear me like trying
Shout out to No Remorse.
Hey.
All right.
Yeah,
You on the set. I'm blessed.
I'm out here trying to remember all these lines I got.
Oh, man.
That's what I'm talking about. But it still is called grind time, staying faithful to our focus, right?
Hey.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's true.
We're going to take a quick break while we let this video roll around, because we want to come back and we're going to talk about fatherhood, the impacts of fathers. I didn't grow up with my father, so it's always, it just blesses my heart to see wonderful men who are fathers to their children and who had great relationships with their fathers. So you don't touch that down. We'll be right back. Enjoy this video until we come back.
Yeah, definition of a dedicated father. I thank God for the position, it's a true honor. Looking at my son in his eyes, I remember when he first told me give him a high five. Malik, I was only 2 years old. Now we 7. Oh, Lord, I must be getting old. Time flies when you busy on your grind as a man supporting your family all the time. Remember when we did the first video? Fatherhood was a masterpiece, truly dope. It gave hope to the fathers all around the globe. 106 in Park was a huge platform.
Where did the motivation come from?
Motivating fathers all over the place. Fist in the air, fatherhood celebrate. Motivating fathers all over the place. Fist in the air, fatherhood celebrate. Dedicate, celebrate, fatherhood celebrate. All the real men fathers can only relate. Each and every day on your grind, providing for your family at the drop of a dime. Salute to my fellas who doing better. We can make it through the storm no matter the weather. Take a second, think about it like this. Being there for your kid really makes a difference. Thinking back when I first met your mother, you was 8 years old, just a little munchkin. We used to have conversations about reality. You told me you ain't really know your real daddy. You might have seen him like 4 or 5 times. I could tell you was hurt from the tears in your eyes. I'm thinking, how could a man leave his little girl? Then I started reflecting, we living in a crazy world. I don't care what you and the mother went through. Bottom line, step up, your kid needs you. I couldn't sit back and dwell upon the negative, so I had to make the situation turn positive. As I took your mother's hand in marriage, I made a vow to you. Don't ever call me a step parent. You are mine and I'm gonna make you shine. Fast forward, you grown now, again time flies. I was there for your prom and your graduation. Moments in your life made me such a proud parent. The point I'm trying to make with the story I'm sharing, father to a father, let's go make a difference. Dedicate, celebrate, fatherhood celebrate. All the real men fathers can only relate. Each and every day on your grind, providing for your family at the drop of a dime. Salute to my fellas who doing better. We can make it through the storm no matter the weather. Take a second, think about it like this. Being there for your kid really makes a difference. Yeah, I'm a man, I'm a father, I'm a husband. Motivating the fathers to keep hustling, keep grinding, keep shining. Set examples for the families worldwide. Even if we face trials and errors, get on your knees, pray to God to deliver us. This is a moment of celebration, fatherhood, dedication. Dedication.
Welcome back to SaySo Radio with Andre Harrison Friends. I'm your host, Andre Harrison. This is my friend, real estate matchmaker, Theron Shields. And Uji Leo is going to sit out for a moment right now. We're on the second segment, the special segment, the dedicated father segment. And I want to shout out to all the fathers. Happy Father's Day. Trey, are you on here? Trey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you. All right. So let's talk about this dedicated father movement. And I definitely also, Theron, too, want to talk to you about how you had to sleep in your truck to raise your, and still try to raise your baby.
Right.
All right. Let's talk about the movement right quick.
Yeah, well, let me go first since I'm on set.
Yeah, go ahead. That's what I was saying. Go talk about the movement.
Check it out. Of course, you know, Theron and Uji, they know I got this movement, man, dedicated father, where I'm inspiring fathers to continue to step up for their kids and definitely like talk about the issues, not really serious issues though, because it's a lot of negative images about African American fathers.
Right.
And I'm just here to, you know, like really bring light to it is positive images such as myself, such as, you know, Theron and, you know, Uji even being a father figure to, you know, his little cousins and nephews and you know, youngers in his family. But as far as it's just my movement, man, that I'm posting pictures of fathers with their kids. I'm showing, the impact that being a responsible father can have in a household, can have in a community. Of course, y'all know I got the merchandise T-shirt brand, the Dedicated Father T-shirt brand, and as you've seen the video, the Dedicated Father video, I'm just trying to make an impact. Because like I said, around this time, and especially on Father's Day, it's sometimes you might get, a lot of women posting pictures saying Happy Father's Day to them because, the father ain't in the life. But as far as, like men like us, as far as we concerned, it's definitely important that we continue to, just be in our kids' lives. I mean, it really makes a difference, even the impact that it has on education, our kids' education, the impact that it has on them emotionally. Especially we got young men out here, young black men, man, is getting killed every day, man, by the hands of police officers. And I mean, it's just a lot of youngins making wrong decisions. We got to be there to kind of like save our kids, and even for our little daughters, man, we got to teach them how men really supposed to treat women. I mean, a lot of young ladies out here, man, they messing around with these jokers that ain't treating them right, and they going through a whole bunch of turmoil in the household. But if like I said, fathers, black men like us can step up and just keep on, putting out positivity, putting out that positive message on just being a dedicated father.
Wow. Now, that's true that you said about the women dating different kinds of men. I grew up in a domestic violence home. My mom, I watched her being beat a lot of times, and my father wasn't around, so I did not know how to have a healthy relationship. Nobody could even tell me, oh, well, Candy, if they do that, that ain't right. I didn't know that. So therefore, my picker was messed up. All right? It was just all jacked up. My picker was toe up from the floor up. But today it's like, okay, I have certain standards, and if you can't meet them standards, you can't meet me. That's just how it works. I don't do Happy Father's Day to me. I used to say that, but then I sent a mixed message. So but we thank you for your time. We do have we know that you had an online awards show that launched on yesterday. I showed it. Can you just give us the names of the fathers that were awarded?
Yeah, so I awarded my homeboy Darnell Queen, who I grew up with. You know what I'm saying? He got kids now, and we known each other since we was 12. I awarded James Bernard Tyler, who goes by the name of Jamie. He's one of the biggest promoters in DC. Miles Hobson, who lives out here in Atlanta, Georgia. Mustafa Rashid, who actually lives in Philadelphia. And my man Jeremy Newkirk, those were the fathers that I actually awarded. They don't even know, this is the first time that I'm actually introducing on air that they getting an award. So I mean, tonight at 12 midnight, I'm gonna drop the videos. It's a whole bunch of like different videos or whatever, man, that I put out. Kind of like just celebrating fathers in general, though, because I still don't want no fathers to feel left out. I mean, I'm getting awards created as we speak, and then. The web series, the Dedicated Father series, I went to the barbershop yesterday, and that footage is getting ready to drop at 12 midnight tonight as well. Like, I mean, I got a whole little movement, whole little show that I just wanted to do. And like I said, it's just to encourage fathers to keep on stepping up for their youngins, man, whether they got a son or a daughter.
Right, and we also are working on a project in the district area with some of our little circle of friends, men who are dedicated, who are making moves and making things happen in the community, and who are dedicated fathers and good father figures, right? Because in this area, it's hard. You don't see that all the time. You don't even have a 2-parent home, and the parent that you got, sometimes you're sorry you even got them. So we're really happy about the dedicated father movement, the mentoring movement that we're doing here in the DMV area, and also moving it to Ohio and North Carolina, and I think we were talking about tapping into Philadelphia. So we are real
huge. I
real
can't
excited
wait.
about it. Real excited about it. So we thank you so much for your time, and your talent. And tonight we can't wait until midnight for this thing to drop.
Right.
Yeah, man. Hey, Thurn, happy Father's Day, man. Ooh,
Hey,
happy Father's
happy
Day, man.
Father's Day,
Everybody,
bro.
I'll be home next week, so I mean, we gonna be able to, get things going. I'm actually doing Channel 9 because that caught on. They caught on to the whole movement, and I'm just excited to be able to, bring this positivity to the city.
All right. We love you.
We love y'all. All right.
Okay.
Definitely.
Peace.
See you, Trey.
All right.
Peace.
So now we're going to talk about, could you flash this? Did you get that? We want to just right now send a special, our guest, Uji Leo is sitting out right now because this is a very sensitive part for him. Hi, Norman. Hi, everybody. And we're actually holding him in our heart because he lost his father. And, this last year, it hasn't even been a year yet that he's been gone. So we shout out to Torrance Tracy Hall. He was in the U.S. Coast Guard. This is the reason why I feel like I'm like their mother, their aunt, because his dad was only like 2 years older than I was. And so I just want to hold him in my heart. So shout out in a moment of silence to those that we lost, the fathers that we lost. All right. So how you doing, Norman? Happy Father's Day to all of our fathers. So Thurn, I want you to share with us, because a lot of people, they look at you now, but they don't know the Thurn that I've had an opportunity to get to know, that your friends all know. Right. They don't know that Thurn. They don't know the part where when the pictures that you've shown me, the stuff, they don't know none of that. And then the man that you had to be, even when you had to leave recently to go and take care of your daughter and your son. Come on, talk to us about that.
I mean, the situation is, it was hard, just me, myself, I never really had a father, I have a father now, but I didn't meet my father until I was like 15 years old. And then just like you, I grew up in a household to where I watched my mother get abused a lot. And it did something to me, it instead of me actually changing it into a negative and allowing me to get frustrated, I took it as a lesson, to not allow these things to ever happen to your children in general, I mean, because no one deserves the things that I've witnessed my mother go through, alone. And then, during my time frame with my daughter, like you say, I spent a couple months in my car, with my daughter, driving around at nighttime, sitting here just so that when she wakes up, she doesn't think that we was sleeping in the vehicle, just so I could be like, Daddy was up all night working, looking for houses and things of that nature, But in these circumstances, I still have the best interest for my children, making sure that my children is put first. Now, I granted, me being a single father and me being so tight with my situation on being able to protect your children and take care of your children, and be there to be able to provide for your children, I had to, in turn, do things a little bit different, being as though I didn't have that help, I didn't have her mother there. I didn't have the help of somebody else to be able to, take the slack when I needed it to be, but in the sense of, teaching them right from wrong, teaching them how they should live, in my opinion, nothing with the school systems. I'm not trying to down any of the school systems or anything like that, but the school systems, honestly, they teach you how to be a modern day slave, and with me understanding that, I don't want that really for my children. I don't want that for my daughter. So, now it's more so, ever since she was a little girl, I was always traveling her around with me, sending her, bringing her to houses with me, letting her sit in on my meetings and interviews and things of that nature, to be able to show her that there's another side of the coin, almost like, baby, they're teaching you the matrix, but I want you to understand reality. This is what you're going to go through, and this is what you need to do in order to achieve greatness. And a 9-to-5 job isn't going to actually give you $1 million overnight. A 9-to-5 job isn't going to be able to change your whole, your whole family. And just being that reason, being in that place to be able to teach her something different, that's everything. And also protecting her, her mind, and teaching her how, a real man's supposed to take care of their child and also their, significant other, because I try to always put my best foot forward when it comes down to my children, I don't like to, bring them into negative environments, because just like Trey say, a lot of what's going on in today's poverty, today's world, is going on due to the fact of a lack of a father being in place to be able to show these children really right from wrong, teach them another route. The reason why I think I'm the man today, is because even though I didn't have my father, I still had a lot of male influence while I was out there, like I got into my first fight. I cried, ran home. Mom said, put the little bandages on me. Baby, here you go. But my male figure, he's like, no, you're a man. You take your ass back over there to that basketball court and you go fight him. And during this time frame, I'm like, I don't want to. But that was the day that I literally became a man, because I'm sitting there looking like, are you kidding me? Never let another man disrespect you. Never let another person put their hands on you or put you in a situation to where you have to go through that. Now, me being a lot older, I know better. I know not to get put in those types of situations, but that's where you come as being a father, to be able to show these people, like, look, this is the direction that I took. You don't want to go that way. I know where this lead to, and this is going to lead to nothing but disaster. If you want to be here, this is the route that you take. But there's a lot of fathers out there, in my opinion, that's really doing, things for their children and for kids out there in general, that just don't get a lot of credit. Just like you said, I see a lot of women out there, they just blast men online, They're all negative. They're all, this guy, he ain't doing nothing. They'll be dead. But what about people like myself? I've had my daughter from day one, ever since she was born, she was delivered and it was like, here you go, and nothing has changed, and even through me being a single father and still having the same trials and tribulations as everyone else, even worse, I had a stigma. I had something that stopped me from actually achieving, and I was getting kicked out of the military with a bad conduct discharge. I couldn't go out there and apply, do nothing. But in the sense of not being able to let things stop you, and also have the determination, to be able to show your children different, and also to be able to put them in a better position, I think that we need to be the first step to be able to change our future, especially if we want to change it. You got kids out here nowadays killing each other because, one, their parents don't have enough money to go out there and go buy them the shoes that they want, or the clothes that they need. So then they go out there and divert to robbing and stealing and going into gangs, and at the end of the day, if you gave, now I'm not saying spoil your kids, but if you was there to pay attention to your children, gave them what they needed, they wouldn't go down these routes, because they'd have a voice of reason. They'd have this mind state. Like, if my daughter out in the streets and the guy tells her, oh, this and this and this, I give you $100. She say, my dad's a millionaire. I watched her tell somebody that the other day. She was like, like, my dad his
daughter, you can't tell her anything. She's young, but she'll tell people, my daddy a millionaire. My daddy. So when you try to boast on your father or your family, his daughter ain't playing that.
No.
And it's good because he invests a lot of time in her. We about out of time, but you can reach him at the Real Estate Matchmaker on Instagram, right?
At Real Estate Matchmaker.
At Real Estate Matchmaker. Uji Leo 1 is on Instagram, and he's going to be starting a platform class. So one thing about Theron is you'll find out when you get to know him that he's not selfish in information.
No.
So next weekend we will be in Miami, streaming live from Miami.
I can't wait.
We can't wait. So that's where we'll be. I'm hanging out with Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. And next, Aquemini Jams in the building. So don't touch that dial. We thank you so much for joining us. Until next time, keep living, keep giving, but most of all, keep loving. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.